What's going on, people? I am Swerver, and this is the Opinionated Facts Media Group podcast. I'm joined by my amazing team, Coco Love, Journey to be Great, and Illuminated Lenses. I hope everyone's doing okay today. Of course, this is what we do every weekend, bringing y'all an episode every Sunday at 1 p.m. So to my team, how y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. Actually, I'm feeling pretty good today. I think our episode is going to be pretty nice for the people. Just for you guys that don't know, our podcast, what we do here is we try to build better relationships within our community through using the power of conversation. And we have a few topics today we're just going to go over with you guys, and we hope you guys enjoy it. But we're going to start with Journey. So what do you got for us today, Journey?
Well, I'm very interested in, like, when it comes to the brain, as far as the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and how the brain changes with certain behaviors and how it rewires itself. All of those things is fascinating to me. So I wanted to know, how does porn affect the brain? So I decided to do my research, and by research, I Googled it. And I came across this website.
Did you Google porn, or did you?
No. I Googled the effect of porn on the brain. Yeah. I mean, I had my share of that type of research back in the day. So I just want to know how it affects the brain now.
Okay.
I'm judging you. It's a judgment job now. I just wondering.
Look, no judgment at all. But for our Pornhub users, I just want to get them the information.
Man.
So I went.
Hey, hold on now. Hold on. Go in the direction. Go.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So just for clarity for our listeners, I didn't go to Pornhub to get this information. I actually went to this website called EndSexualExploitation.org, and the title of the article was "How Pornography Affects More Than the Brain." And so, according to this article, and I quote, "The visual stimulus of pornography hijacks the brain's reward system and overwhelms it with an unnatural, prolonged dopamine level." So, if you're not familiar with dopamine, basically it's the feel-good chemical in the brain that comes from pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. And not just sexual pleasure, like you can get that from eating, from scrolling through social media all day long. And like I said, it just gives you that
feel-good.
That temporary feel good. But according to this website, the brain actually deteriorates in size and shape, as well as cause a chemical imbalance. And I also found a study by someone named Kendra J. Muller from Brigham Young University. So the area that is impacted the most as far as like shrinking in size is the prefrontal cortex, which regulates self-control. So the repetition of porn decreases the gray matter in that area. So if you think about it, ultimately, porn can kind of cause brain damage. And this begins to affect a person's mood and the personality.
It's okay.
Personality. I had to break it down.
It's the porn, man. It's the porn. Go ahead.
So it leads to things such as depression and isolation. And not to mention, porn addiction can also cause unrealistic sexual expectations. And this article also mentioned a docuseries called Brain, Heart, and World, which I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I do plan on looking for it because I just thought the whole thing was interesting. But it goes on to say how it starts with your brain and then it moves to your heart and eventually comes out into the world as far as like your behaviors and stuff. So for those of you who are frequent Pornhub users, no judgment, but you may want to consider it could possibly be damaging your brain.
That's crazy. Thanks for sharing that. That's an interesting topic. For the listeners, how many of y'all out there going to these different sites, man? Y'all ain't gonna tell us though. Y'all nasty like that, but so it's all good. I just want to know. Give us a thumbs up or something if you like to go watch a little porn here nowadays.
Now, anybody that likes it, you're going to think that they like to watch porn and they just liking the videos.
They be lying. They know what it is. We know what it is.
See, that's why folks be getting injured doing sex.
You're trying to do stuff that they see other people do.
Exactly. Again, the unrealistic expectation.
What'd you say?
Got your old ass up here trying to do reverse cowgirl to get to pull the damn hamstring.
Yeah.
She did it on the screen, but wait.
Now you got to lift your dumb ass to work. And they asking what happen, you got to think of an excuse.
The cowgirl. Hey, you want to go next, Coco?
Yeah. So I saw this. It went kind of, I don't know how viral it went, but it was in a mom's group that I'm in on Facebook or whatever. And it was also outside of that mom's group as well. But basically, I want to get y'all's opinion, what you think about this or whatever. So it's 2 screenshots. One is a screenshot from a mother of a daughter. Okay, so she has a daughter with a man, and I guess she's having a hard time currently. I don't know if she's sick or whatever, but she's messaging her child's father's girlfriend. Okay, so the message just says, "Hello, can you please allow Miles to get Faith?" And she said, "I'm struggling really bad and I need help." And then he said that he can't allow his daughter to spend the night because it's your house and your rules. So I'm asking you woman to woman. So the man's girlfriend comes back and she says, "Hey, yeah, she can't stay here. Faith isn't my child and I won't have responsibility over that or what you and Miles have going on." And then she said, "Have you spoken to his mother?" As in Miles's mother and the child's grandmother. She said, "Maybe she can watch Faith until you get better." And then the child's mother comes back and she just said, "I spoke to her." And the girlfriend says, "Okay, cool." And that is the extent of the conversation that we see in the screenshot. So I don't know who shared the screenshot. I'm not sure, but the girlfriend comes on back and she says pretty much, I'm not going to read all of this because it's pretty long, but basically she said that you can look at her as being selfish or whatever, but she's not going to put herself in that position or whatever. And she said that Black minority women especially have always been set up to be the provider, even when it's not our responsibility. And she said becoming a stepmom when we don't necessarily have to be. She said for her, she's not going to do that. And, you know, it might seem selfish or whatever, but she's worked hard for where she is. She's going to travel. She's going to live her life and she's going to not. So I'm assuming she doesn't have children of her own. I'm assuming from reading it. But she said she's going to do what she want to do. Basically, that's her man, but that's not her daughter pretty much. So I wanted to get y'all's opinion because as always, I can see both sides. But I wanted to get y'all's opinions first. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think she's wrong? Do you think she was right? I mean, what do y'all think?
I mean, for me, if you're going to deal with someone with a child, that child, of course, going to be in their life. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like that comes along with it, that you have some type of responsibility. If you're going to deal with someone with a child, if you don't want that period, then don't date anybody with children.
Right. Yeah.
I think it depends on how long they've been together. If this is kind of like y'all just started kind of talking thing, I get that because you're still in that early stage. And I know people that have talked to people that have kids and they'll tell you like once you start letting the kid come around and stuff like that, you feel attached. And even if you want to end a relationship, you feel bad because you already kind of got attached to a kid in some way, like feel like that parent or whatever. Now, I can see where she's going with that. Now, since you said the lady was sick, right?
She didn't really say, but that's what the girlfriend responded back with, until you feel better. So I guess that's what's going on.
So honestly, and again, I mean, it's a place or whatever, but she probably could have just made this exception. Like just because you do it once, like, and I understand, like once you do it once, it might happen again or whatever. She probably could have made an exception and everything like that. Like, but you know, I don't know. That's kind of a tricky.
Yeah,
I think that it's very unfortunate. That's for sure. I would really like to know what Miles thinks about the situation.
Yeah,
and furthermore, I will agree with Journey and you. You brought up some good points too. But if you're gonna deal with somebody with kids, and I'd like to know how old they are, because as you age, it's gonna be highly unlikely that you find a person without a child. I'm wondering if it doesn't work out with Miles, who's she gonna find out here that's not gonna have a child? So I would definitely say she's very selfish for that. I mean, like you said, E, I mean, come on, man. We don't know all the details, so I don't want to just go ahead and assume. But
I think, like I said, I see both sides. If she doesn't have any kids, I get it. But as Journey said, she shouldn't be dating anyone with children if she has that mindset. I think that she should date someone that does not have any kind of responsibility outside of himself. As far as Miles is concerned, I would love to know too, because if I were the man in this situation, that would be all I needed to know. Like, we're living together, and it was probably her place before he came along, but I'm sure he's providing something or whatever. And if my child can't stay here, then I don't need to stay here either. And that would have been the end of our relationship. Like, that would have been all I needed to know, because what is the purpose of y'all even being together anyway? Like, are y'all just dating for fun? Like, I have a child, she comes along with it, and if you don't care about her well-being or me seeing about her well-being, then we can't be together. So I would hope that if Miles is any kind of dad, I think that he should have broken up with sis after this, so she can go find her someone without any children, and then he can help the mother of his child while she gets back on her feet, because ultimately that affects the child. If she's sick to the point where she's asking for help, she's probably in a situation where she can't work like she needs to do her part for her child and to be there emotionally and physically for her child. So she needs help. So I thought it was kind of messed up. Like I said, I can see her point of view as maybe being a single woman, you know, without any children, but she might need to find her a single man without any children if she's going to have that mindset. But I saw a lot of different opinions on the comments or whatever. Some people were saying pretty much what we said, and some people were saying, you know, like, she's not wrong, and you know, that's just what it is.
I mean, and the crazy thing about it is, yeah, it would be nice for her to do that, but at the end of the day, she don't own nobody's shit. Like, to be completely real, like, she really don't. And I think a lot of people have to realize that. Now, the only thing that's old is, okay, you're the parents or whatever, so you need to make sure that you know your child taken care of, everything like that. But as far as her, she don't have a dog in this fight. This ain't got nothing to really do with her for real. But honestly, you know, as the dad, this should have been a conversation that should have been had, because if she had felt this way, like before you even moved in or whatever, talk through some different scenarios, and if she felt like that, then you shouldn't have moved in with her to begin with or whatever. Or like you said, Coco, you should have just went ahead and just broke up with her and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because now you get in this situation, and I don't know if they talked about it. They might have talked about it or whatever, but now you get in a situation where, let's say you didn't. So now it's like, well, this person looked like the bad guy, this person looked like the bad guy. And it's like, really, the person at the end of the day that's really getting hurt from all this child, because however young a child is, like, they peep game, like they peep this. They can peep when they feel like, okay, you really ain't rock with me like that, or
or they're
I can't come over here. Yeah, and that can make them feel away, and that can stick with them. So folks just got to be careful.
I'm just curious if Miles, one of those, what was the term you used? Switch around dudes last week?
Oh, the swing around.
I wondered the swing around. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if he's swing around dude. But okay,
he might be.
Now, if he's a swing around dude, he that's probably why you hear nothing from Miles. Shit, he
might be, because he told the mother, he was like, "It's her house, her rules." That sounds very much like a swing around.
That sounds like a swing around.
There it is, baby. There it is,
baby. So we figured out what's going on then, right?
Hell, Miles might not have nowhere to stay.
Exactly. Baby. Yeah. Okay. So we figured out the problem here.
Miles said
every man for themselves.
hey, include the kids, goddamn, include the kids.
So they kid, you better make some shake. I got some what say.
That's messed up, man. I want to address one last topic that we got for you guys today, man. I saw this thing, and you guys tell me if y'all saw this, but the topic where they was talking about the rapper Glorilla, when she said, "Be toxic in your 20s."
What? She said to be toxic?
Yeah, she was saying you should be toxic in your 20s. Basically, don't worry about it till you get when you get to your 30s and 40s, you'll be mature by then. But in your 20s, you should be toxic.
Okay. Great relationship advice.
Right. It's crazy.
I mean, okay, first of all, how old is sis? Ain't she like, she's not even 25 yet, is she?
I don't know. Let me go look that up real quick. Y'all keep it going. Let me see how old. I'm gonna see how old it really is.
Okay. I get what she's saying. She's not using the right word.
To intentionally be toxic.
No.
Yeah, that's what she said.
No. Don't intentionally be toxic. Like, I get what she's saying. Don't intentionally be toxic or whatever. But I put it like this. It's a lot of folks in their 20s, like y'all will be in relationships or whatever. Putting myself in here too. But a lot of times, you know, people in our 20s retreat these relationships they were in. Like, we gonna be in this forever. We treat the relationship like somebody would treat a 40-year marriage or something like that. And half the time, you don't even be married, nothing like that. It barely be a relationship. It really be a situationship or whatever. And, you know, you be so serious with it. I'm not saying, like, date to play around and stuff. But at the same time, like, y'all be real young and trying to
have a committed
trying to commit, knowing damn well you're not gonna commit. Like, you know you can't do it right now. You don't even know how to. So I get that point. But
see, I don't have no problem with that. But you're hurting other people just because you
you causing trauma for other people.
You
that's the only thing.
Because I mean, you may not be ready to commit, but that don't mean you need to go out there and mess up her life or his life.
And that's why I said I get part what she's saying, but she take it too far. Like she has a point to an extent, but not like that. Like don't actually be toxic. Be free. Like date who you want to date or whatever like that. And if it's not working or whatever, move on.
That
But
might
don't be
be what she
toxic.
meant, maybe, because I
And
do
that's
agree with that.
yeah,
Like, don't like,
yeah.
in my 20s and especially early 20s, like when I was still in college, I was literally out here trying to be in a relationship. And I guess I would see people that did meet in college and got married or whatever. So I was out here thinking that these young guys, you know what I'm saying, like they're 20 and 21 years old, were like committed to me and this, that, and the third, and they were not. Which now when I look back on it, I understand it, but it was still hurtful and it still, you know what I'm saying, it caused problems for me later. And I had to
And to
deal with
your point,
those.
it's harder. It's harder when you're younger or whatever, because that's when you start coming to your own. You start seeing like different options, stuff like that or whatever. So I get that. It's not that you can't or whatever. It's like, oh, well, since I'm young, I'm just gonna do whatever. It's not necessarily that. You can be in a serious relationship, but you ain't got to deal with all of the trauma, the back and forth, constantly arguments and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do all that. Nobody really does, but especially like when you're twins and stuff. Like if the relationship isn't working or if it's not good or stuff like that, and you took it serious or whatever, move on. You have people that's like 20 and they've been in a relationship for like 3 years, person or whatever, and they know it ain't working and it's really shit. But you stand because you feel like, oh well, I don't want to have to start over. My nigga, you 23. Like, what do you mean you don't want to start over? That's what I mean by that. Like, you got your whole life. Like, that's what I'm saying. You in your 20s. You ain't 70s or 80s. It ain't like, well, this my last hurrah. If I don't stay with her, that's it.
I'm gonna play this clip for y'all real quick. I want y'all to hear this.
When I'm gonna call my twin, and I just want to let y'all know, be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life. Live your toxic 20s. You never get to be 20 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, none of that ever again in your life. Be toxic, because don't get in your 30s thinking you could just go slashing tires and doing all this crazy shit. You're too old for that now. You're too mature. Be toxic for the rest of your 20s. And if you're delusional, turn this shit up a notch. Enjoy the rest of your 20s. You only get to do this shit one time.
And there you have it.
That adds a little bit more context, just a smidge.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Why would you do that? Why would you be toxic? Because nobody wants to be around a toxic person. And the decisions that you make while you being toxic are problems and issues that you create that somebody else got to deal with later, mainly yourself. So I just think
that will affect you later on in
Right.
life. And not to mention, some of these women she's talking to are going along and having children in these relationships as well. So then you have another human being that you're affecting also.
Correct.
I agree with that, especially when you're a celebrity. Like, even if you don't want to be a role model, you're still a role model. So you want to be careful of what you say, because people literally will take what you say literally. Like, they be like, oh, well, I mean, it's working for her. She 20 and she being toxic or whatever. So I can do the same thing. And she might not even meant it to completely like that. And then you going out here, you just smashing folks just left or right or something, and then you wind up catching some. And now you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself. That's ultimately it. But folks are impressionable, so you just got to be careful.
So I don't know what type of women she's speaking to. I don't know if she meant that for all women, but I can say this. No man, if you want to be married or you want to have kids, no child is looking for a toxic mother, and no husband is looking for a toxic wife. So if you have two of those ideas in your mind that you want to be, and maybe you may be thinking you're going to bury that when you get to a certain age, well, that's another thing. No man wants a woman with a lot of baggage, and no child wants a mother with a lot of problems. So it just doesn't make any sense. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. And I really hate that she put that out there, because she has such a wide group of people that listen to her. She's a big influencer to certain people. So that's definitely unfortunate. What I want to know is, for the listeners, how do you guys feel about that comment? Do you think it makes sense? Let us know in the comments below. I want to take this time now to thank everyone for listening to us today. I appreciate each and every one of you. I am joined by Coco Love, Illuminated Lenses, Journey to be Great. This is the Opinionated Facts Media Group podcast. And until next time, peace.
Perfect.